In a significant development, the November 2025 Watchtower introduces a major doctrinal change regarding the interpretation of how Jehovah puts thoughts into the nation's hearts during the end times. This represents a substantial shift from previous teachings and understanding that the organization has maintained for decades. The adjustment fundamentally alters how Jehovah's Witnesses view the sequence of events leading to Armageddon. For over a century, the organization has emphasized the immediacy of the end times, particularly through its interpretation of this generation. Since 1914, various explanations have been offered about who constitutes this generation that would see all these things fulfilled. This teaching has profoundly influenced how members planned their lives, made major decisions, and viewed their future. From the original understanding of those who witnessed 1914 to the overlapping generation teaching, each interpretation has carried significant weight in shaping believer behavior and expectations. The Questions from Readers section in this latest Watchtower carefully presents this doctrinal modification using specific terminology. Rather than calling it a change, the article refers to it as an adjustment to our understanding. This careful choice of words is significant, as it represents a substantial revision to how we've interpreted prophecy while attempting to maintain continuity with previous teachings. The article methodically explains the new position on how and when Jehovah influences the nation's decisions. Looking at Revelation 17:16-17, we find the key scripture being used to support this doctrinal shift. The context of these verses is crucial. They speak about how God puts it into the hearts of political powers to execute His will. However, the interpretation now being applied represents a significant departure from how these verses were previously understood. The broader context of Revelation chapter 17 and its relationship to other prophetic passages has been essentially reframed to accommodate this new understanding. The language used to present this change reveals careful thought in managing its reception. Terms like adjustment, refined understanding, and clearer view are deliberately chosen to soften the impact of what is actually a major doctrinal revision. This approach minimizes potential cognitive dissonance among members while simultaneously presenting the change as progressive enlightenment rather than a correction of previous error. This doctrinal shift has profound implications for longtime members of the organization. Many have made life-altering decisions based on the previous understanding, choosing not to pursue higher education, deciding against having children, or postponing marriage. These choices were often made with the conviction that the end was imminent, based on the organization's previous interpretations. Now, these members must reconcile their past decisions with this new understanding. When we examine the history of doctrinal adjustments within the organization, we see a pattern emerging. From changes to the 1914 generation teaching, to modifications in understanding about 1925, 1975, and other significant dates, each adjustment follows a similar pattern. The organization gradually modifies its teachings while maintaining its claim to divine direction, often reframing previous understandings as stepping stones to clearer knowledge. The organization maintains its authority through these changes by emphasizing its role as God's channel of communication. This latest adjustment demonstrates how doctrinal changes are presented while simultaneously reinforcing the organization's position as the sole interpreter of Scripture. The balance between acknowledging the need for change while maintaining organizational authority is carefully managed. This doctrinal shift may significantly impact member retention and faith. Some members might struggle with questions about why previous understandings were presented with such certainty if they needed such substantial revision. The organization will likely need to address these concerns while maintaining unity and preventing the development of serious doubts among the membership. This doctrinal change represents more than just a simple adjustment to prophetic understanding. It reveals fundamental aspects of how the organization handles scriptural interpretation, manages change, and maintains authority. The shift demonstrates the ongoing challenge of balancing organizational stability with the need to adapt teachings when previous interpretations become untenable.